In 1988, Michael Jordan did something that no player had ever done before. He won the NBA scoring title while also winning Defensive Player of the Year. 35 points per game. Over 3 steals per game. More than 1.5 blocks per game as a 6'6" guard. For decades, that season has been used as proof that Jordan wasn't just the greatest scorer in basketball history. He was also one of the most dominant defenders ever. But what if some of those numbers weren't entirely real? In 2024, an investigation by Yahoo Sports analyst Tom Haberstroh raised serious questions about Jordan's 1987-88 Defensive Player of the Year campaign. The report suggested that Chicago's home scorekeeper may have been crediting Jordan with steals and blocks that never actually happened. Today, we're breaking down the Michael Jordan stat padding controversy, the evidence behind it, the arguments against it, and whether it changes the legacy of one of basketball's most famous awards. First, let's establish why this season matters so much. During the 1987-88 season, Jordan averaged 35 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 3.2 steals, 1.6 blocks. He led the NBA in scoring and steals. He finished with 259 steals and 131 blocks. That block total is particularly shocking because Jordan was a guard. In fact, no guard has ever come close to matching that combination of steals and blocks over a full season. The voters loved it. Jordan received 37 first-place votes for Defensive Player of the Year, easily beating defensive specialists like Mark Eaton and Hakeem Olajuwon. For nearly 4 decades, nobody seriously questioned the award. Then came the investigation. The biggest piece of evidence comes from Jordan's home and road numbers. At Chicago Stadium, Jordan recorded 165 steals, 87 blocks on the road, 94 steals, 47 blocks. That means he averaged roughly 4 steals and 2.1 blocks at home, 2.3 steals and 1.2 blocks on the road. That's an enormous difference. Now, players usually perform better at home. The crowd helps. The shooting background is familiar. Role players often improve, but Jordan's defensive split was extreme. According to Haberstroh's analysis, his home versus road gap in combined steals and blocks, sometimes called stocks, was the largest ever recorded for a Defensive Player of the Year winner. That alone doesn't prove wrongdoing, but it raised enough suspicion for researchers to dig deeper. And that's where things got interesting. Researchers tracked down 6 complete games from Jordan's 1987-88 season and compared what happened on film to the official box scores. What they found was surprising. Across those 6 games, the official statistics credited the Bulls with 59 steals. But according to the researchers' review, the opposing teams committed only 41 live ball turnovers. Then they looked specifically at Jordan. The official box scores credited him with 28 steals in those 6 games. The researchers counted only 12. That's a difference of 16 steals. Their argument was that Jordan was frequently being awarded steals for simple deflections. For example, if Jordan poked the ball out of bounds but Chicago never gained possession, that should not count as a steal. Yet the researchers claim several of those plays were recorded as steals anyway. Now for the most compelling part. His own teammate, Scottie Pippen, claims similar things, reporting that his own steals were given to Jordan, and that he once heard a statistician tell Michael that he took care of him. They also found questionable block assignments. In some cases, Jordan allegedly received blocks on plays where a foul was called, situations where other Bulls players were not credited with blocks under the same circumstances. If true, these mistakes would inflate exactly the 2 statistics that made Jordan's defensive season look historic. The investigation eventually focused on one man, Bob Rosenberg. Rosenberg served as the Bulls' official scorekeeper for decades. Importantly, nobody has ever proven that Rosenberg intentionally altered Jordan's statistics. But several details fueled speculation. According to reports from the time, Rosenberg had a close relationship with Jordan. There were even reports that he would signal to Jordan during games about statistical milestones and triple-double opportunities. The NBA reportedly told him to stop doing that after complaints surfaced. Rosenberg's name had also appeared in previous stat padding allegations involving other Bulls players. In 1998, a Western Conference executive accused Chicago's stat crew of inflating Dennis Rodman's rebound totals. Years earlier, there were similar claims involving Bulls guard Guy Rodgers and his assist numbers. Rosenberg denied those accusations. Again, none of this proves Jordan's numbers were fabricated. But critics argue it creates a pattern that makes the 1988 statistics harder to ignore. So, was Michael Jordan's 1988 Defensive Player of the Year award fraudulent? The honest answer is we don't know. The evidence raises legitimate questions. The home road splits are unusual. The film study found inconsistencies, and the scorekeeper's relationship with Jordan adds another layer of intrigue. But there is still no definitive proof that Jordan orchestrated anything, or that the award would have gone to someone else without those disputed stats. What is certain is that one of the most celebrated seasons in NBA history is no longer completely beyond debate. And nearly 40 years later, basketball fans are still arguing about what really happened in Chicago during Michael Jordan's only Defensive Player of the Year season. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of basketball's biggest controversies, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. We cover the stories, scandals, myths, and hidden history behind the biggest names in sports. And if you have an opinion on Jordan's 1988 Defensive Player of the Year season, let me know in the comments below. Do you think the investigation changes how we view the award? Or do you think Jordan earned it regardless? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.